One of the biggest reasons you cannot lose the weight is because you were never taught how to truly read your bodily signals, interpret what is going on within your body. Like today, I almost forced myself to push through. And that's when, in that moment, it dawned on me how, like, it's moments like this that made it harder for me on my weight loss journey to finally get to a place where I was in a body weight that I was happy. I was able to lose the weight. And I realized how a, a huge part of that was not being way more in my head than being in my body. So, what happened today was I woke up this morning. I was pretty rested. I wouldn't say I was 100% rested, but I was rested enough that I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. And it was leg day. And if you know anything about leg day, she's always spicy. She is always going to make you regret coming. But no, I love the challenge. And love that I was able to push myself. Love that I had people around me to keep me accountable. But anyways, and honestly, even right before the workout, once I got to the gym, I noticed a hesitation before I went. We will talk about that later, but let me just keep on going with the story. But anyways, I got back home and I was already starting to feel a little bit of signs of fatigue. But I told myself today is the day that I'm gonna dedicate to like filming all the video ideas I have written down. So it was good that I got my workout out of the way. And so I started to like, really get myself in the mood. I got home, I, you know, prepared my shower, took a nice slow shower, took my time with it, with the self care and all the stuff, and got dressed up, looking good, played music in the background, did my hip rotations, just dancing, just to get my body into the vibe. And I was feeling pretty good. I was like, okay, I can't wait to like finally sit down and record all these videos that I've just, written down. And then, but I haven't eaten yet. So, and I know me, if I don't eat after a certain time and I just push myself, it's not, it's not going to be good. And so I made sure to eat first. And I just had like, I had ribs. I had ribs and chicken. I just had meat. It's a late brunch. And, and after I ate, that's when I started to feel a little bit more tired. And when it was time to film, I wasn't sure if this was resistance because, it it is taken this is out of my comfort zone. I am learning, teaching my body that it is safe for me to create. And so this has been a huge learning curve for me. And so because I didn't want this to be another moment where um the minimum sign of fatigue I feel in my body, I use that as an excuse to like do nothing, like I'm too tired. So I told myself, okay, I'm gonna go just lay down and do some meditations. And if I'm really, really tired, I would take the nap um, instead of pushing through the thing. And then if worst comes to worst, I can just bring my laptop in bed and just keep organizing everything, how I'm gonna say it, write some notes and stuff like that. So I meditated in bed. I just did breathing exercises, deep breaths and out. Like I did that for a good 12 minutes, I believe. And then I started to like feel like energy in my body moving through. I started to feel a little bit better, but there was still that lingering fatigue in my body. And I was like, I really thought about this. Like, girl, you just had an intense leg day and you just ate. And every time after you eat, sometimes your body does downregulate and is using all that energy to do what it needs to do, digest. So I told myself, okay, just take a nap and and then we see from there. no pressure, no scrolling on my phone because that's not gonna help either. Um, that's fake rest. And so I just put on like an audiobook in the background because that always helps me fall asleep. And yeah, and I took the nap, and 20 minutes later, I naturally woke up on my own. I didn't force myself to even wake up. And I feel a lot better. I'm now, I wouldn't even say I'm 100% there, but I feel way more better than I did um, when I was trying to record earlier. And as I was just laying there in my bed, I was really reflecting how, like, I could have easily pushed through, forced myself, because I did have like 8 hours of sleep last night. I was just being greedy, wanting to sleep a little bit more this morning, but I'm glad I woke up and worked out and did all the things. But and that's when I was like reflecting and thinking like, how did sometimes not knowing the difference between fake fatigue and real fatigue can is sometimes what gets in the way of whatever goal. So whatever goal you want to accomplish, whether it's weight loss or creating content like me, teaching other people how to do what I've done, um, you need to be able to tell, you need to bring your body along with you. Your mind may want something, but if your body decide is if your body is not ready, she runs the show. I'm learning that it's a very humbling experience, which is why, like, no matter how good and perfect you want to do things, it never goes that way. Your body runs the show. Um, and that's why it is important to be able to work with her, to be able to understand what she needs. And I am so happy in this moment. Like this is a cause of celebration because we're not taught this. This is not something that comes naturally, especially to me, where you have the option to take a second to try and figure out what's really going on here. Because there have been a lot of times where it wasn't real fatigue. Like I literally just woke up, and now that I want to get some work done, I'm magically tired again. So learning this work and how to just read my body, and most of the time, a lot of times, especially when you're starting off new, you're gonna get it wrong. But this is a learning experience. This is new. We're used to living in a world where our minds, people hyperfixate on the mind, but like we're learning how our our body also plays a huge role. So, you know, and and to me, if I even think about it, like with the gym thing that I was talking to you about earlier, when I had gotten to the gym, there was a part of me that hesitated, even though I knew I wanted to go in there and work out. But I started to feel resistance in my body to go in there. And before I let the resistance fully even hit, because I already drove and I know I just woke up from an 8 hours sleep. So I still went ahead and did it. And as I was doing it, my body like caught on real quick. It wasn't dragging along. I even pushed myself beyond what I thought I could. And so in that moment, I read the signal right. And again, when I got back home, now it's actually when I looked at what happened throughout the day, I'm like, okay, this is valid. Maybe let me try this first. And if I try to, and once I did that, I'm so happy that like old me, whenever I had big goals, major goals, like I just learned to push through. That's what discipline teaches. I try to think of this from a place of devotion, you know, and where with devotion it's not necessarily a force. Like discipline is good, don't get me wrong, but sometimes there's just so much force in it without taking the time to figure out, okay, what is actually going on here? force is not always going to get you the result. It's going to get you temporary results. And sometimes your body will even negative it will work against you even more, because as I was really thinking about, I'm like, wow, if I had forced myself to record at the time that I was really tired, this is how my body starts to associate creation with force, with not fun, with a lot of resistance, versus now that I have slept and I took a mini nap and now I am here recording. I'm here recording. Like, to me, that's such a big deal. And I'm not just recording, I'm recording from a more grounded place. I don't feel like I'm being forced. Granted, there was still a little bit of like, just a little bit of resistance there, but it wasn't as big as before. And that's what regulating your nervous system does. It takes this big mountain that your body feels in you towards your goal and reduces that threshold. So it makes it easier for you to take that action, that next action step. And it's a moment to moment thing. This is a lifetime of work. And so for me personally, I do really do believe like taking care of your body, losing weight, it is a spiritual act. This is not just a purely physical thing. Like you can use this journey. That's why I like the nervous system approach, because it really forces you to bring more awareness, bring all parts of your body online. Like, why is it, why am I facing so much resistance? Because when you actually write down like what you need to do, like sometimes logically, it's actually very simple, but in our bodies, it feels heavy, it feels like unsafe, and so your body will always find a way for you to keep running away from it, and that's what keeps you inconsistent. And that's how I used to do the yo-yo diet, because I will force things. I will force, like, trust me, I have approached like this my entire life with a place of force and too much control and restriction. And this is not to say that you're not going to face these things even with the nervous system work. It's just more so, um instead of approaching it like you're being chased by a lion, you can approach it from like, what's going on here? What are you trying to protect me from, body? How can I meet you? What do you need in this moment? Is it that you're actually tired and you just need a quick nap? Or is it that right now you just want to feel love, so you go give yourself a quick hug? Or you want to feel validated in the fact that I'm not going to abandon you, like, we're still here, we're working, we can go along this ride together. Like, that's how you talk to yourself. That's how you start to learn. The more you take a pause and figure out what's going on whenever you face resistance, especially when you notice the resistance is mainly happening when you're about to do the goal, when you're about to eat the food, when you're about to go to the gym, the things that you're wanting to do to help you in your journey of weight loss. You can always, you take a break and try and figure out what's going on. And that's why I don't think that, there's a one way approach to this. Is more so like learning, getting a chance to really learn the parts of yourself that you yourself blocked off years ago, whether it was due to trauma or due to just not feeling, loved, worthy, and all the stuff. And you start to see how like your body really, it thinks it's protecting you, but you have to like, you have to give it the, what's the word I'm looking for, you have to show your body that you're here. You're not going to dissociate. I see you, I feel you. What is it that you want me to see? And sometimes this is not logical. You're gonna feel it in your body. We all know what resistance feels like. So now it's for you to figure out and interpret, is this like what exactly does my body need in this moment? How can I meet you there? And then we can go and do what we need to do. But, anyways, this is just, yeah, a quick story of me like doing this work too in real time. And it is not easy at all. It is very simple, but it is not easy. And it can get really frustrating. I am there with you, and I was feeling really frustrated earlier. I'm even like, just in general, this week has been, it's only Wednesday. Okay. It's only Wednesday, and this week has felt overwhelming. And so I've just been doing what I need to do to regulate, allow the feelings, whatever is going on, to come through, meet myself where I need to be met. Now running away from like emotions, certain things that come up, allowing myself to meet it there. And the more of this work I do, the more aware I become. I can see it in real time about to happen. And now I have that place to even have somewhat of a conversation with my body. But before it's automatic. You don't even notice you're doing some of the habits you're doing. But nervous system regulation creates that gap for you to like, okay, now I'm aware, which way do I go? There's no wrong or right way. It's just more so like, what do you want for yourself? How can you meet yourself where you're at so that both of you guys can work together and do what you need to do? But anyways, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Sometimes, anyways, let me stop it at this. I'm gonna go record the videos that I actually had planned to create. I'm gonna be doing a series of. I'm gonna be doing a series of, what's it called? Yeah, teaching people how to read nutritional labels. So let me actually go and do that one now. But I wanted to record this and show you how I'm doing this work too in real time, how I'm not just applying it to physical fitness, how it really, you start to see how by doing the work, it affects every other area of your life. And so we shall see, it's a muscle. It's just like working out. If you're very new to it, it's going to be a lot. And even when you have been doing this for some time, it's still going to feel a lot because every new level, there's a new type of resistance. When you learn to finally bench press that 100 pounds, and then what are you, and then you add more weight to create more resistance, and then you just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's the goal here, where we get to learn more and more about our bodies. And it doesn't mean that the work is going to be necessarily easy. Like I said, it's simple, but it's not easy, but it is doable, and it is so so rewarding. So rewarding. Like, give yourself that space and time and patience to really get to understand how your body communicates with you, because it does that all day, every day, even with your hunger cues. Sometimes, yes, the food is really, really good, but your body's telling you that I'm full. So listen, that's how you start to, your body starts to gain trust with you that, oh, she listens, moment to moment. You get to build this moment to moment. Life will always give you opportunities to work on this. So not even just outside of like the things you need to do to lose weight, you can use this in different aspects of your life, and that's how you even get that chance to really build momentum and your muscles towards just having this bigger capacity to be able to hold more in your body. And so, yeah, I'm gonna end you guys with that, and have an amazing day. Stay regulated. Ah!